Good afternoon. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. You are listening to Inside of, a part of the midweek flow. Let me say what's up to the fam. Hey, Carvey, how you doing today, bruh?
Hey, good afternoon, Michelle.
Jay, I don't even know if I want to holler at you, man.
Nah, you don't want to say nothing to me today.
Dude, you
Today.
You're the D.
you caught me. Hey, Dion. Good afternoon, sweetheart. Um, first of all, I hadn't seen you since the holiday.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that first. How was your trip?
Trip was amazing. Trip was
It was
amazing.
amazing.
I definitely needed more time.
Yeah.
That turnaround was quick. I was like,
yeah.
is it back? Because I drove.
Yeah.
So I was like, come on, this is not time to get back on the road again. Caught snow. So I actually pulled over in Louisville because the snow was a fool.
Crazy. Yeah.
And it looked like first snow. So when those salt trucks out, and it was just I had saw two cars go off the into the ditch.
Oh wow.
And one car was being pulled out the further up I got. We gonna pull over. We gonna just go and get a hotel for the night.
Yeah.
But the grandson is ridiculous.
Wow.
Had a ball with him, and his other grandmother was there. So yeah, I told folks I had a good holiday. Didn't have to cook. The only thing I had to do was wash dishes. I'm like, my kind of holiday.
That's a great one right there.
How about you? Your baby was in town, right?
Yeah, my son was here. We had a blast. We enjoyed each other. I was able to get with him and my daughter and my grandson and my little nieces and nephews that was here, my cousin, and we got together and hung out and spent some time. So it was fun.
That's what it's about. Yeah. That's what it's about. I know when I talked to Debo, he was like, man, we have a whole bunch of people, traffic come through. So like, I just got to chill and enjoy the house, enjoy my peace.
Yeah.
But then you messed me up, took me for a loop.
Yeah.
With this situation that you just brought to my attention that I had not heard about.
It's unbelievable.
But when I say a nightmare scenario, and you said it was actually on the news, so I feel okay, talking about it.
Yeah.
But can you just kind of set it up for people? And folks, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you got babies in the car, this one is graphic, and it's heartbreaking. So just understand that, because I know some of y'all picking up kids from school right now. So just a flag on the conversation before Jermaine mentions this.
Yeah, such a sad situation. One of my Facebook friends, Mika, lost her daughter on Friday. She was on her way to work. While she was on her way to work, she was on the phone with her mother, and her mother actually heard her get killed. The young man walked up to her, from the understanding that everybody is saying that she didn't know the young man and the young man didn't know her. Walked up to her, shot her, and after shooting her, turned the gun on himself and killed himself right then and there. And Mika, she was on the phone with her daughter and heard her daughter's last words. And her last words was, "My God." When he shot her.
And so just because I had to just take a second to process what you told me, the fact that, so this young sister is on her way to work, talking to her mom while she's waiting for the bus or something.
I guess so, yeah.
And this random dude
walked up to her and shot her. Then killed himself right there.
So the young sister's name is Vanessa. Vanessa King, only 20 years old, had a 1-year-old daughter that she has now left behind. And the way the article reads is saying, she was on her way to work Friday near 7th Street in Galena, where she works as an in-home nurse when the incident happened. They said there was some type of interaction. They really don't know what the interaction was, but based on what I'm hearing, she didn't get an opportunity to clock into work that day. This is what Leah Davis, which is the Vanessa's grandmother or godmother, I'm sorry, has said. According to the medical examiner's report, Vanessa King was found shot in a stranger's apartment.
Mm.
Police said the 21-year-old suspected shooter later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators haven't yet shared the suspect's identity or what led up to the shooting. However, Davis and King did not. Davis said that King did not know the suspect. This is like some complete random act of
It's
violence.
crazy. It's crazy.
It only screams a couple of things to me. Is what a godmother said, evil. And I don't necessarily like to call people crazy, but that's the way it seems, crazy.
Yeah.
And I relate that to mental health issues. Following the tragedy, Davis is encouraging families and communities to have conversations about mental health. While their family still has many unanswered questions, Davis said their faith in God and leaning on each other are helping them to stay strong together. This could be a killer out there on the loose. This could be an unknown killer that nobody knows about. We have no information. So I am grateful that at least in some form there was justice served. And God's the only one that would be in control of that. And a GoFundMe account has been set up to support this sister's young 1-year-old daughter and to help with funeral and memorial expenses. Because you think about at 20, the last thing you're thinking about is life insurance
Yeah.
and burial costs. The stuff that as a 60-year-old, or older people, you start like, okay, making sure policies is in order, making sure I've done what I need to do in the event of my untimely death. Um, at 20, that's not you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
living.
yeah,
You
yeah.
you
You're not even
preparing to
thinking
live.
about that.
Yeah, you planning to live, and so I know sometimes people can be leery about doing GoFundMe, but just think about that. This young sister was just getting started with her life. Today is Giving Tuesday. Organizations have probably been flooding your inboxes with requests for donations. Uh, if we had to give today, hadn't thought about giving today, to be able to go to GoFundMe and look for and I just pulled it up. So they said they have a $25,000 goal. They've received 37 donations so far and have raised $1,550. So we know that's not enough to bury anybody. Um,
It's just,
so if you have not thought about it, perhaps go into the GoFundMe page for this young sister, Vanessa Helena Christine King. She had three names before her surname. And she just lost her life on November 29th. And they have a picture of her and her beautiful daughter. She's a beautiful sister too. But you're not, and to be able to understand, like, so why did this happen?
yeah, that's
And you just never know. And I talked about that before about you never know what's going on with people when you encounter them.
yeah, and it's funny that you said that because I just had this conversation with someone saying that just be kind to people. And when you see them, like you ain't got to be mean to them. Just be kind because one, you don't know what they're thinking and what they're going through, um, and people are capable of anything. So, I mean, I'm not saying that this young lady did anything to warrant any of this, but just the simple fact of how I've seen some people just be outright nasty to people that they don't know, just nasty and just all kind of attitude, and you don't know what is going on in that other person's life.
And, because I tell people all the time, show people some grace,
Yeah,
let stuff slide sometimes because, I got people say, I meet you how you handle
yeah,
me.
yeah,
So you got to be able sometimes to assess the situation. Every situation does not require a response.
yeah. Because some people is really ready to die and
I,
would do it in a minute and would take you with them.
I mean, I think about the young mother. I'm not sure if she was in North Carolina. Let me look and see real quick. Um, but the woman who was having the drama with the neighbor about her children playing in this open field near the house, and the children come home and tell their mother, who happens to be African American, only 37 years old, that this white neighbor ended up slapping one of the children in the face. So kids do what they do. Um, they went home and told their mom that the neighbor had slapped them in the face. Mom goes to the house.
Yeah.
Um, and the white woman shoots her through the door.
Yeah, I saw that.
And just got sentenced to 25 years in prison. And, so you're not thinking when I go knock on that door.
Yeah.
That this woman is about to shoot me.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of our sisters like, oh no, and they, because you kind of act off of how you feeling. Like, ain't nobody gonna disrespect my baby. Ain't nobody gonna do this to my child.
I mean, think about it. We all making that move.
Yeah, I mean, trust me.
Let Atlas come home and say somebody slapped me.
Man, I'm
on my way.
I'm going all the way.
But just understanding though that like the sister, even if she had went with her own gun in hand, you can't see through the door.
Man, and
that lady shot her through the door.
And even if you,
so you don't even know she's standing there holding a gun on you.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta like, let me call the police. Because you smacked my kid. Let me call the police.
Well, I know it was an incident that happened with my daughter and my grandson that I just found out over the Thanksgiving holiday, that she was at the gas station on Hopkins and a grown lady, had to be drunk or something, picked up a rock and threw it at my grandson. Almost hit my grandson in the head. So my grandson started crying.
And your grandson is like 5?
He's six. He'll be 7. And he started crying and said, Mama, she threw a rock at me and called me a little B. He didn't say the word. He just said, she cussed at me and called me the B word. And I'm just grateful. I'm going to say this. I'm grateful that nothing happened to my daughter. The other woman, can't speak for her, but I'm just glad that that she didn't have anything to, just being out of your mind and mental illness, and then something happened that you end up doing something to my daughter, because Lord knows, I
mean, but you just don't know.
You just
and
don't
so
know.
Just to remind people again, to the point that you
gotta
made,
think
about these situations when you're getting into them.
Yeah.
Decide sometimes it's better to walk away or move around.
Yeah.
Call the police if all else fails, because you hit my child, that's not going unanswered.
Oh yeah.
But I'm calling, but I may call the police, particularly if this is somebody you've had an ongoing drama with.
Yeah.
But just think about though, this mess is so random.
Yeah.
That happened to this young sister.
Yeah.
You just
you don't even know what's gonna happen. You don't have a clue.
Right. And for her mother to be on the phone with her,
just heartbreaking.
You just feel for him. But
devastating.
Let me go to the phone line. Hey caller, what's happening?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm well, but I'm very, very touched by the situation you just laid out. And I want to make an observation from experience. When somebody is doing a GoFundMe for a funeral, and another option to donate to the situation is to find out where the funeral home is, and you can make a payment with your credit card, because I here's a credit card person. And if I found that out, I would do that. Yeah. And the last time I did that, somebody called the station and told me there was the funeral home right by y'all's office.
Pitts.
Yep. And I went up there and made my credit card donation.
Okay.
Wow. Just for y'all's information.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as we hear anything, yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. And, we definitely will keep the community aware of any arrangements as we learn about them. We had another caller? Yeah. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yes, good afternoon, Miss Michelle Bryant.
Hey, JT, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm trying to hang in there, but thank you for being back again. Much love.
Yes, sir.
And Jermaine, much love. Much love.
Jay Tizzle.
You know.
Tell her like it to you.
Michelle.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Michelle, excuse me, I'm not trying to frighten anybody and stuff like that, Michelle. I don't know, we don't know what happened with this situation with this young lady. and stuff, going to work, going about her business. But somebody from out of nowhere came up and got her like that.
Yeah.
Michelle, excuse me, like I'm saying, I'm not trying to frighten anybody, Michelle, anything like that. But I have noticed, Michelle, that when this happened, I remember, not to blame it on this fool back in the White House again, Trump. Excuse me, I'm not going to go there, but I just want to say, only thing I remember when Trump went the first time, we had some people coming out of nowhere shooting black people. Because I know we do it too. Don't get me wrong. I know we do it too. I'm trying to say, people that's not involved in gang-related activity or drugs, anything like that, is going to work or sitting on the porch or something like that. All of a sudden, somebody come by and shoot them. Now, I might be paranoid. I don't want nobody else to be paranoid, Michelle. I'm just saying, something's wrong with this picture. Because this young lady, now, let me ask this question. Anybody, obviously not, because this just happened, but the person that shot her and took his life, was he white or black?
They
That's
didn't
my
even
question.
say. They didn't even
That's
say.
what I'm trying to say.
They just said he was a 21-year-old male.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that
hear
is a
you.
good
I hear
question.
you. Hey, I hear you, sir.
Hmm.
But that's all they said, right?
Yeah, that's all they said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's get a race. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be paranoid or anything like that. The only thing I understand, anytime Trump comes someplace plus, not to blame it on the Republican Party, anything like that, Michelle, because this has been going on in our community like forever. But it seems like to me, all of a sudden, people that's not involved in anything, that's going to work, mind their own business, sitting on the porch or something like that, somebody come by and just shoot them, playing
Right.
playing on a, you know, playing basketball or something like that, mind their own damage. And somebody come up and shoot them, not necessarily being black. So I'm asking myself, who's doing this? Now I can be excuse me for being like this, and I apologize to the community and everybody else. I'm just saying, come on now, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
How come my people get shot like that? You can't blame it on drug dealers. You can't blame it on domestic violence. You can't blame it on this, that, and another. Because some people just going about their business. I know it happened in our community too, but come on now. When they escalate Michelle, when they escalate, it seems like to me, when Donald Trump getting where close to be like he is again, I think white people think they can come into our neighborhoods from because when this young lady got shot at, excuse me for being all over the map, but it seems like to me, when this happened, it's close to the expressway. So excuse me for being paranoid. But I'm just saying, we have to watch out for ourselves and just watch out for everything because it's going to get crazy in a minute. So Michelle, excuse me for being way out there and crazy and stuff. And Jermaine, thank you, sir.
Yes,
But
sir.
Michelle, that's just my opinion, dear.
All right, JT. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Michelle, one more thing
Yes.
before I go.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed that since Trump is on his way to the White House, have you noticed that judges been letting white people go? They've been shooting and killing black people on the porch or whatever case may be. They on out on bond and stuff like that.
Not any
Mm.
more so than usual, but I'll
Well,
look.
well, Michelle, excuse me for being that. Excuse me for being like that. But my point exactly is that the young lady that was in a certain state, white woman was messing with her kids, right? And she went on the
Yeah,
porch.
she got sentenced to 25 years, JT.
But then they give her some a break.
Well, she should have the maximum she could have got was 30 years. And the
But no, I'm not talking
judge
about
gave
that,
her
Michelle.
25.
Did they let her out?
You mean while she was awaiting trial?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if she was allowed to post bail or not. I'll look real quick.
And another one, Michelle, real quick. the young man that accidentally in a certain state was going to go and pick up his kid. His mother asked him to go pick up his brothers and stuff. He went to this 85-year-old white man house or something like that. And the white man saw him and said, way he looked and stuff like that. He shot this young man, but he didn't die. But the white man got out on bail.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, Michelle, seemed like to me, they're letting white people out. That's me being like this, okay? But they're letting white people out for what they did for unarmed black people out on bail or whatever the case may be. And I may be paranoid, Michelle, but I'm just saying
Nope,
that,
I got
okay?
you,
So excuse
JT.
me.
I got you. No, and thank you for the call. I appreciate
And
it.
thank you for taking my call, dear.
No problem. I mean, I'm just saying it just don't seem like it's any more than usual. I mean, this is what so many people have been talking about for years and years, the inequitable, disparate treatment in the justice system. So maybe, there's more cases that are getting talked about, but we've been dealing with this forever, that there's one standard. Somebody else gets to plead self-defense. They get to go home on bail. They get to raise bail. The other part of it is, are black people being offered bail, and then can't afford it, or offered no bail at all? So I think people look at the Puffy case right now.
Yeah.
And where we have, another guy who's been accused of stuff that's just as egregious. Some folks that said, so why isn't Puffy out on bail? The difference being, as they said, that Puffy was actually threatening people from behind bars. Don't know if it's true.
Man, they can say
and got a history of whooping folks.
Hell yeah, now that's true.
So if you whooping folks when your life ain't on the line, what might you do when your life is on the line? So it's just one of those things to think about. So we'll tackle a couple of tough conversations today. We also got something cool that's going on in the city. We'll be talking to one of the individuals that is connected to that. But let me take a quick break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 868 6.5 FM. We'll be right back.
The holidays, and holiday trips, and holiday toys, and holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together.
Hello, my name is Johnny L. Jones, one of the founders of Experience MKE, who proudly presents to all the All Black Experience, which is happening 11/29/24. We are also familiar with the All White Experience in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So, Johnny, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
I show my appreciation and gratitude toward the loved ones throughout the holiday, well as the year. Pick up the phone, check on people, because you really never know what anyone is going through, and just you reaching out saying hello, how you doing, need anything. You just don't understand sometimes how much that impact other people sometimes.
Hello, I'm Hope Manuel of Milwaukee Hope Initiative.
So Hope, I got a question for you. Sure, what holiday memory are you most thankful for?
Probably the big Christmases we used to have when I was younger. All the family was there, all the cousins, my both grandparents were still around,
right.
And, just riding bikes through the living room that we got that morning for Christmas and just tearing up the house.
Thanks. Well, appreciate you.
Thank you.
What's up? It's Jamiroquai Killer with the Black Policy Initiative. I'm here at WNOV.
Yo, Jamiroquai. So, what's one thing you've learned this year that you're thankful for?
And one thing I learned that I'm thankful for is to not be prideful and to not think about myself all the time. You know, I want to spend next year pouring into everybody else except for me, because when I give to others, it always come back.
Can you share a time when you share love to someone?
Man, every day. Every
Right.
day, you
Right.
know, I got a lot of people around me that help fuel my fire and help make me better. And I want to keep them around. I want to keep them energized because I need them. And so I try to give it back to them every single chance I get.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. Just taking a minute, talking about an unfortunate tragedy that happened over near 7th and Galena on November 29th regarding a 20-year-old young sister by the name of Vanessa King who had an encounter with a stranger. I think they said a male to believed to be about 21 years old who ended up killing her while she was actually on the phone with her mother. Her mother was talking to her while she was on her way to work, and then turning the gun on himself, and he later died of his injuries. So a couple of people had called in about, the concerns that they had about the story. And I know we have another caller on the line. Let's see what they talking about. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yes, hello, and thank you so much for taking my call.
Yes.
And I want to say hello to the staff and your wonderful live chatters. But you know what, Michelle? I really want to say, JT, you don't owe no apologies for telling the truth. What he said for telling the truth. And another thing, I'm like JT, Michelle. If that had been a black person that did something like that to this young lady, they would plaster their picture, everything all over the screen. So I'm like, JT, who did this? And it's so sad. My deepest condolence to the family and to you, Michelle, because that was a friend of yours, right?
No, ma'am, it wasn't. It was a friend of Jermaine's,
Oh, not
Jermaine's friend's
Jermaine Lee.
daughter. Yeah, Jermaine,
Jermaine Lee.
ma'am.
That's
No, Jermaine
right.
Rideout. That's in the studio with
Oh,
us.
okay. Okay. Oh my God, Michelle, such a tragedy.
It
I
is.
mean,
It absolutely is.
this brings tears. Thank you so much to
All right.
Michelle for bringing it to our attention.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, and I appreciate the call.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yep. And I mean, and that's the thing, family. Just making sure that people know to move more cautiously, pay attention, because this is one of those things. It does. It shakes you.
Yeah, it really really makes you think like, okay, at any point in time, somebody could just walk up to you and shoot you, and for no reason at all. Like, you minding your business. Like, that's just like us walking out of the studio. We standing outside talking, and somebody walk up to us and then shoot us.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Yeah. Right. Right. No, it's definitely one of those things. I think about, those kinds of things moving around. And then you think, if you add in like the climate that we're in and the
Yeah,
political angst and people frustrated and
yeah,
everybody hot with everybody, stuff can go sideways real quick. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
So and this, this is not that situation, but it just reminds people to slow down,
yeah,
calm down,
yeah.
and be rational to the extent that you can. And, because some people go to 10, like
Yeah, quick,
immediately they go to
quick.
10.
Yeah,
And it's like, man, it's the time and the place. You better learn how to read a room. I tell
and
folks that all the time.
yeah, and that's true because, again, and I say this often, I'm grateful for the change in me because I used to be that person that would go from 0 to 100 real quick, and you know, I actually had that mindset of I didn't care, like knowing where I came from. I wasn't raised like that, but just being around people that had that mentality, it rubbed off on me. So now I was that saying, okay, the way if you make me mad, something gonna happen, and I knew it was gonna happen. So I'm just grateful that I took the accountability amongst myself to pull myself out of those situations and shake myself up. And yeah, so I know it's out here because I used to be like that.
And look to the point that I was making about why some people get afforded bail, some people don't. Why I just pull up something that says there's a new lawsuit against Puffy. He's accused of hanging a woman off the balcony, so he think he read from from what the Five Heartbeats. What movie was that? Cadillac Records or some
Oh
foolishness.
yeah.
But yeah, you read. You hanging folks out. How you hanging a one? I mean, I don't know if it's true, obviously, but come on, y'all. It's just crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I am expecting an interview. So we'll see if we have that in the next couple of minutes. A couple of other things I will mention while we're waiting for that. There was a case that caught my attention out of Kansas City. Whew. So, and I'm just trying to pull it up real quick. So there was a police officer in Kansas City who was known well in the Black community as someone who frequently assaulted Black women and girls. Okay. He was a police officer, ultimately becomes a detective, and his name was Roger Golubski. And Golubski. And he, in fact, 71 years old, was set to be to go to trial, because the way the story goes is that over the years, he had been accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting two women over several years while on duty. He was scheduled to be in a federal courtroom in Topeka this past Monday to start jury selection. They were trying to find him, figure out where he was. He did not respond. He retired from the Kansas City Police Department back in 2010 after he had been on the force for 35 years. He had long been suspected of raping and terrorizing Black women as he patrolled certain streets in these Kansas City neighborhoods. A former police officer and a captain, he was accused of sexually assaulting two women multiple times from 1998 to 2002. He was indicted in 2022 on 6 federal counts of civil rights violations. He pled not guilty. So a number of activists, they said about 50 people showed up outside the courthouse on Monday, and everybody was waiting for this dude, looking for him. And the judge is looking at his lawyer like, where your client at, man? And the lawyer was like, I don't know. We trying to find him. We trying to catch up with him. They sent the authorities to his house. So the authorities was outside of his home. Unbeknownst to them, he was on his back porch. He had taken his own life on the back porch. The allegations against him. So what these activists said, these many people that was outside, that they had long believed that this guy who was white had abused his position on the police department to prey specifically on Black women, and that they believed his actions had gone unpunished for decades. And people said that folks knew. They had been complaining about this guy. The allegations against him gained steam after Lamonte McIntyre, who had been in prison for 23 years for a crime he didn't commit, accused the former detective of framing him for a double murder. Mr. McIntyre also claimed in a wrongful conviction lawsuit against Mr. Golubski and the unified government of Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas, that the former police detective sexually assaulted Black women, including his mother.
What?
According to the Associated Press. The unified government agreed to settle the case for $12.5 million in June of 2022. So this young dude says, for years, this officer was sexually assaulting my mother and then framed me for a double murder in which this brother did 23 years in jail for. After the lawsuit was filed, at least 7 more women came forward accusing this officer of demanding sexual favors. One of the women at the center of the Justice Department's case, Ophelia Williams, claims that Mr. Golbowski came to her home after her twin sons were charged in connection with the murder. After implying that he could help her with the case, he touched her leg and tried to touch her under her skirt, she said. When she pushed his hand away, Ms. Williams told the paper in an interview in 2022 that he grew more aggressive, threw her on the couch, and raped her. She said that this officer raped her at least 3 more times in her home. Quote, some say, why didn't you call the police? Ms. Williams said in the 2020 interview, hell, he is the police. The police is there already. He was arrested in September of 2022. 2 months later, DOJ filed additional charges against him, accusing him of helping 3 other men run a sex trafficking operation that preyed on underage girls in the 1990s. It's always difficult when a case is unable to be fully and fairly heard in public trial and weighed and determined by a jury, is what the Assistant Attorney General, who leads the DOJ's Civil Rights Division, because the case, ends up now being dismissed because he's dead. So these women will never get their day in court. And, I don't know if because they don't get their day in court, if they're ever able to sue the department because he was not found guilty. So there may also not be an opportunity to collect civil damages for what was done to them. But the number of times that these Black women raised these concerns and they went ignored. How?
As a son of a Black mother, I would be furious. Just, your mother is getting raped. Then the guy that raped your mother.
And you a kid, so I don't know how old the guy is now, but he did 23 years in prison.
That's what I'm saying, because of what this dude framed him.
And so you don't know if he was like a young guy when he went. I'm assuming most likely he was.
Yeah.
And then you the mother, and you got to realize what's going. I mean, like, all of this is so off the charts crazy that you just sit back like, how were you able to do this for you? And they said people were telling the police that, and what the woman say? Hell, he is the police.
He is the police.
Who do you want me to call? He is the police. And so, yeah. You specifically was preying on Black women. And why? Because they were the ones that were going to be least listened to, least heard.
And he was so much
least valued.
So much of a coward.
Yeah, then you kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
Then you kill
don't
yourself.
Want to face the music after all of the coward.
And that's the thing. That's the thing I talk about, because real quick, if I can also draw in this football fan, hang on, because I didn't have it pulled up, but it made me think about it. So I don't know if you all have heard about this player. I mean, hang on. Where is it? But there was a college student. Let me see if I got it right, because I'm so mad. I thought I had it pulled up. But there was a college student who was calling, who was making monkey sounds at a football player. And I'm trying to figure out where it is, and I'll find the story. So yeah, making monkey noises and doing all this stuff. And there was backlash on social media from the fans and from supporters and just people in general. Was like, What are you doing, dude? You racist piece of trash, blah, blah, blah. So why did a story come out begging people on social media not to go hard on folks who get accused of racist behavior? Because now it has destroyed this young man's life. He concedes that he was doing the monkey gestures at this black athlete. He said he did it. But when everybody starts coming for him, now people are like, oh, no, 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 no. This destroys people and social media can be so cruel. But you started it. You did it. You said it. Now there are people out trying to gain sympathy for you.
You know what this sound like? So this sound just like how they always be like, hit me, I dare you to hit me. And when you hit them, I'm telling you, you just told me to hit you. Hit me, you won't do nothing, you nigger. Hit me. And then you smack them, bow.
It is just the craziest. That story, I just sat back like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
So, because as folks say, you wrote a check that your behind couldn't cash.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to think about how we handle people that say racist stuff, and then you come after them and everybody dumps on them, and you're not thinking about the kind of pressure that puts people under.
Yeah.
Like I know the one lady who did the bird watching thing and got at the brothers, called the police.
Oh, yeah.
She lost her job.
Yeah.
And then she was like, my life has been made, miserable. Why are you talking to me like I'm about to be sympathetic to what you're saying? Not getting ready to happen.
Right, man.
Just not getting ready to happen.
Walk a day in the black man's shoes. In the black woman's shoes.
I'm just saying, not getting ready to happen.
Yeah.
Not getting ready to happen. But, I'm glad you said walk a day in black man's shoes, because there is somebody, let me see if I can bring this up, that I want to mention today to get away from the morbid conversations, unfortunately, that we find ourselves with. I'm going to just make sure this is not my interview.
1 second.
Hang on. Is that my interview?
Nope, you got a caller.
Okay, so let's go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Oh, hello. I hope all is well.
Hello, Al.
Hey, first thing I want to say, you need to question them why they're, raping all them farm animals, because that's been popping up. And according by race, since they want to do all that hatred,
yes,
they're the number one leader of rape and bestiality. So some animals is never right on that farm. Now here's something where it gets rich. I have never ever in my life seen so many black men fighting to protect Donald Trump camel toe. He must got a whole lot of girth. And then I hear the religious people been talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. Religious people. That was about pride and not helping the needy. It was not about two men and two bulldaggers touching on each other. It's like this, Michelle. If I'm at the gas station and they say, he's asking for money, I say, okay. They say that might be God in disguise. I say, well, that heifer's going to start messing with me today. Okay? Number two, when it comes to people talk about what's American, they don't ever talk about Donald Trump immigrant wives. They don't ever talk about his grandparents from Germany and the United Kingdom. And while these black Republicans sitting with straight jackets on their throats, chastity belts on their tongue, all right, that colostomy bag on their lips, how the hell you gonna let a white man tell you how to be American? That's what I need to know. Now, you look at Elon Musk, he was born in South Africa, but it might be some inbreeding because he do look kind of weird, okay? But how you going to let some white man tell you how to be American? Black people, because you're more American than a white man. So why is you swallowing your sense, your pride, your intelligence just to swing on them little golf balls, because they're not softballs, they're golf balls. And here's another thing. They're talking about migrants, immigrants in their neighborhoods. Look out your window. Who the hell doing all that? And also, one more thing, Michelle.
Yes, sir.
I would like to ask all of you kindly, if a business embrace Donald Trump rhetoric, they should not be embracing your black dollars. Please do not be like these urethra sugar content tasting, foot of the bed toe jam smelling, anal cavity licking coons and say it's okay to disrespect me to my face and I'll pay you too. You might be black, but you ain't one of them blacks. And for them other blacks, you can stay back. Because when you're going through this neighborhood, it ain't the migrant. So embrace your money and spend it with somebody who do not embrace rhetoric. I just had to call and say that, and stop putting too much sugar in your iced tea, and stop dropping them VSOP Black Velvet Parmesan half pint bottles next to the curb. We got too many garbage cans. Have a great Tuesday. Bye bye.
Boy. Boy.
Thank you, Al.
Boy, that is.
Did he say Parmesan?
Parmesan.
People still drink Parmesan.
Boy, hey, boy. Parmesan's so nasty too.
People still drink Parmesan. I know he's gonna be like, out of all I said, Michelle, that's what you picked up on was Parmesan. No, I got it. Well, look, I gotta go to break. I'm gonna go to break.
How to set us into a break.
And I'm gonna regroup and recover, and I'll be right back. This Christmas, join the Salvation Army for a Milwaukee tradition.
I'm Stephen Hopkins, program
will
manager
return
for
on
the
Wednesday.
response team. I'm at WNOV right now.
So, Stephen, what's something simple that you're thankful for today?
Being alive and free.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Is there something you're looking forward to this holiday season?
Seeing my loved ones and, spending some time with them.
Perfect.
Amen.
WNOV, this your boy Jermaine Rideout, producer extraordinaire. What am I most thankful for? I am thankful for family, my kids, my loved ones, my mom and dad, health and strength to be alive, the staff and management of WNOV. I'm very, very, very grateful for them. And yeah, man, that's what I'm grateful for.
One more thing, man.
Yes, sir.
Are you excited for this holiday season, man?
I'm most definitely excited.
What's one thing you're looking forward to during this holiday
Eating
season?
everything, man. I'm looking forward to eating everything that's out on the table.
Okay.
I'm going to eat everything.
Fact. Perfect. Thank you, man.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Deslyn. I'm here at WNOV, and I'm from United Garden Homes, Inc.
So, Deslyn, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What holiday memories are you most thankful for?
I'm most thankful for the holiday memories and spending time with my family, my mom, my dad, and all of the Smith and Adams family. Hey, that's what I'm thankful for.
One more question.
Yes.
Is there something you're looking forward to this holiday season?
I'm looking for some peace and quiet.
What's up? It's Jamiroquai Killer with the Black Policy Initiative. I'm here at WNOV.
Yo, Jamiroquai. So, what's one thing you've learned this year that you're thankful for?
And one thing I learned that I'm thankful for is to not be prideful and to not think about myself all the time. I want to spend next year pouring into everybody else except for me, because when I give to others, it always come back.
Can you share a time when you share love to someone?
Man, every day. Every day, I got a lot of people around me that help fuel my fire and help make me better. and I want to keep them around. I want to keep them energized because I need them, and so I try to give it back to them every single chance I get.
Hello, my name is Johnny L. Jones, one of the founders of Experience MKE, who proudly presents to all the All Black Experience, which is happening 11/29/24. We are also familiar with the All White Experience in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So, Johnny, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
I show my appreciation and gratitude toward the loved ones throughout the holiday, well as the year. Pick up the phone, check on people, because you really never know what anyone is going through, and just you reaching out saying hello, how you doing, need anything. You just don't understand sometimes how much that impact other people sometimes.
Hello, I'm Hope Manuel of Milwaukee Hope Initiative.
So Hope, I got a question for you. Sure, what holiday memory are you most thankful for?
Probably the big Christmases we used to have when I was younger. All the family was there, all the cousins, you know, my both grandparents were still around, and you know, just riding bikes through the living room that we got that morning for Christmas and just tearing up the house.
Thanks. Well, appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. Look, somebody just said, I love that video with Bobby Brown. And if you want to do it, the moves, please stop. Please stop. All right, we got a caller that helped through the break. Let's get them in. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing, girl?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Al, that's my guy. He tell it like it is. he a little raw, but he tell it. But this is what I called you for. I was half asleep, and I don't like to spend my money with nobody but black folk.
Okay.
And this lady had a big black African doll dressed up in an African outfit. And I wanted to buy that for my granddaughter for Christmas, and I wanted to buy her a dress to go with it. And I can't call the name of it for nothing. And this one black guy was on there. His name was Harper. He was overseer or director or something. And I said, Lord have mercy, I sure wished I could find out where she is and who she is so I can go buy this stuff.
So where did you learn about the
On TV on Channel 12. They were showing it Saturday.
Oh, okay. I'll find it for you. I'll find it.
You will?
Yes, ma'am. I'll look for it. I'm sure I can find it.
You sure? Now, Michelle, I'm going to trust you this time because you're supposed to do
I'm supposed to do something else? Look, just remind me. I got a lot on my plate. Just remind me.
I know you do, Rodney. You got a whole lot.
Okay.
I wish you would so I can get it to her in time. You know, it was so pretty. And I wanted to get an African dress. I bought one African dress at Juneteenth, but I outgrow that. So I wanted to get her another one.
And so this doll was
black doll, and she was dressed up in African attire, you know, a dress.
But this was on Saturday.
and they was, you know how they go to different businesses and tell you where they are and what they're selling and where they are located. And I got the tail end of it.
Okay, I will look for it and see if I can find. I'm gonna look for it while I'm on the air, in between commercial breaks. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
baby.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
She was like, You supposed to do some other stuff. You see how she came for me on the air.
I'm gonna trust you this time.
You see, I don't even appreciate it. Okay, let me play this though. Let me play this. Let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
This week, we highlight another life well lived. In 1969, nearly 80,000 fans in the stands at Michigan State University became witnesses to history as the first African-American man was introduced as the president of a predominantly white university. That was just one of many firsts for Dr. Clifton Wharton Jr. Dr. Wharton was president of Michigan State for 8 years and prevailed over adversity nearly as soon as he took the position, when anti-war and civil rights protests swept the country months into his tenure. From Michigan State, Dr. Wharton went on to lead the State University of New York as chancellor, guiding the SUNY system through difficult financial times. In 1986, he was named chairman and CEO of a teachers' pension fund and insurance company worth $50 billion. And in taking on that role, he became the first black man to lead a Fortune 500 company. He also garnered the attention of President Bill Clinton, who tapped him as Deputy Secretary of State in 1993.
Thanking President-elect Clinton.
Dr. Wharton becoming the highest-ranking African-American in State Department history until Colin Powell took the honor in 2001. Clifton Wharton Jr. was no stranger to success, learning from his father, Clifton Sr., who was the first black career ambassador in the U.S. Foreign Service. He enrolled at Harvard when he was just 16 and left to join the Army Air Forces, where he trained as a pilot with the Tuskegee Airmen. But World War II ended before he saw action, and he returned to Harvard, where he would meet his beloved wife, Dolores. After a career of firsts, in 2015, he wrote about his life's work in an autobiography called Privilege and Prejudice, The Life of a Black Pioneer. Dr. Clifton Wharton Jr., who led a barrier-breaking career in education and business, died last month in Manhattan. He was 98 years old.
All right, family. So I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to, because I didn't know. I was not up on Dr. Clifton Wharton Jr. But when I saw information about his passing, and I had seen it in a lot of different outlets, I was blown away to understand who this brother was. I mean, when you talk about being entrusted to have the nation's largest pension fund, $390 billion. First black CEO of a Fortune 500 company. This man's record is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So I wanted to just take a minute and let you all hear what I had heard. I was blown away. And you know, these are the stories that we miss, that we don't get to hear about. But I do have my interview on tap, so I'm going to bring him up. But I'll come back and circle back on Dr. Wharton, because when I say, when we learning stuff, when we learning history, when we're talking in our community about folks that we should know, these are names we should know. So let me take a diversion, a good diversion, if I can, and see if I have Brother Adrian Dunn on the line. Mr. Dunn, are you there?
I am. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how are you today?
I'm wonderful.
It is such a pleasure to talk to you. I first of all, I want to welcome you. I think this may be my first time talking to you. Not sure if you've ever been with us here at the radio station before. So first of all, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us today. And where are you? Are you in Chicago?
I am actually based in Los Angeles and Chicago.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, for folks in our community that are not familiar with you, although when I was mentioning to my producer, I said, can you bring me up a video of the Adrian Dunn Singers so I can have it in the background on YouTube. He was like, Adrian Dunn, I know who that is. And right away, right away. Now, he is a fellow musician, so I will say that.
Okay.
And Jermaine, I'll let you say hello to the good brother.
Yes, sir. How do you do, sir? Man, I love you. Man, I love your music, man. I love it, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Indeed.
So one of the things that we wanted to talk about is the fact that you are going to be bringing an incredible production here to the city. Wonderful, Adrian Dunn's wonderful, a soulful celebration. And this has been presented by the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, happening on December 7th. So that's this weekend. And folks are talking about it. And I'm going to have to tell you, I've never been to one of your performances before. I don't know what to expect. Can you tell me a little bit about this incredible event that you have put together?
Yeah. So this is called Wonderful Soulful Celebration. It is all original music composed by me. This is I thank you again also for having me, but also just the fact that we are an all black classical vocal ensemble based in the city of Chicago, and I also have the my all black orchestra, the Rise Orchestra, as well, and we're just so excited about this project. It's holiday music, it's feel good music. A lot of it is it's churchy kind of holiday music. It's a mixture of hip hop and gospel and what I call a classical spine. So there'll be a full band there, drums, keys, organ. We have the whole crew coming, as well as a 50-voice volunteer choir sourced both from the city of Milwaukee. So I know Anthony McGahee's group, Praise Motivated, as well as working with a number of other local folks in the city of Milwaukee to make this event spectacular. And lastly, it will also be a live PBS recording special as well on this upcoming Saturday. Will be my second PBS special. And so we're really excited for this to be happening at the brand new refurbished Bradley Symphony Center in the city of Milwaukee.
So, I mean, like, when I'm looking at your bio, I'm like, hold on, this bruh is big time. Emmy nominated, just the most incredible, two Emmy nominations.
Well, I just want to throw in that I did win one of those.
Go ahead on now.
So, yeah, I am an Emmy winner. And,
Look, wait a minute. Let me bow down. Let me show the proper respect.
No, not at all. I'm a real regular guy. Regular.
Adrian, I gotta ask you, because working in the genre that you are, when you talk about being a composer and a conductor, like, so where are you from? Are you from Chicago? Where are you from?
No, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, in Cleveland Heights. And then I was in classical music introduced. Well, obviously, I grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to sing in the church, doing gospel music and everything, but started formal training around 12 years old. And that just took me a lot of places in my life. I ended up getting a scholarship to college and started my undergrad in opera from Roosevelt University Music Conservatory there. And then that's what took me to Chicago. And I've been in Chicago for the last 22 years. Working there with, the Chicago Symphony Chorus and a number of other major organizations is where I founded my singers. So yeah.
But help me, because I'm trying to get to you showing up in this space. I went to Wichita State when I first started undergrad, and there was a sister there who was the first person that had ever turned me on to Leontine Price, because she was an opera singer on our campus, an African-American woman. But, had I not known her, never know at that point in my life who Leontine Price is, then get introduced to an array of other folks. And there was something about the music. I always have that pretty woman moment when she goes to the opera in the movie, and there is this immediate connection to the point that your eyes tear up. And then I try to think about, because I'm looking at you, I'm looking at your images, your pictures, and I'm like, yeah, this is a regular looking bruh. Like, he could be singing Belle Biv DeVoe. He could be doing, so Anthony Hamilton. I'm looking at you and trying to figure out, like, what is it like when you show up in this space as an African-American male in this genre. I mean, how hard is it for you to get the opportunities to fit in, to create your own space? What is that piece of the journey like?
So I think that it's interesting you asked me because the journey is tough. My dad passed in June, maybe 3 days before my Carnegie Hall debut with the Adrian Dunn Singers. So my dad died on Friday. We did a show in LA on Saturday. You know, we launched the merch brand on Sunday in Chicago, and we were in New York by Tuesday. You know, and so I'm saying that just to say that the journey is often the most rewarding part, because it's taken me 20 years to be, you know, comfortable. You know, I always knew what the call of my life was, and I was very good at singing opera and conducting and then composing, and knowing who you are, owning who you are, and remembering all of those things that you're taught when you're in school, Sunday school. Love thy neighbor as thyself. You know, believe in yourself, know who you are, and never compromise for that. Because when you are excellent and you show up excellently in everything you do, your gift is undeniable. There will be nothing else to be said because you're showing up in your best form as your best self. And so for the people who think I don't fit in all those years that I went through trying to, you know, fit into this thing or this box, the opera box, the orchestra box, I think I'm in all the boxes now. You know, and I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to come to a city like Milwaukee, who I feel like I love seeing Black people in the concert hall. And I love being able to bring our music, our sound into these spaces that have oftentimes not been always welcoming to us. And so I'm really excited about being able to invite Black folks in the entire city of Milwaukee out to this really spectacular performance this Saturday.
So I gotta ask you, because also when I'm reading the bio, and I'm not sure if this has been completed, but it says that you were writing a full-length opera entitled The 42 Project, based on the life of Jackie Robinson out of baseball. Are you still in process on this? Has this been completed?
Yeah, I'm still in process. It's not completed. We're still working on that
How
project.
you write an opera about Jackie Robinson, man? Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
Well, you know, my first opera actually was a hip hop opera. When I was 23 years old, I got a MacArthur grant. It's how I started my company, which was writing hip hop operas about 8 of my friends in high school who had passed. And in that journey, I figured out that, like, I was pretty good at writing music. People always like, you're a great singer, but they're like, I don't know about that writing stuff. But, I put it up myself, and, I've always had a deep love and appreciation for opera. Obviously, I have 2 degrees in opera, in singing. So, like, I've always had a love for it, and I definitely wanted to just bring opera to my people in a way that, features us, centers us, and is able to, be at that level that is the highest level of achievement, for sure.
So help me understand the connection that I saw to Hunk for Jesus, because I watched the movie. Yeah. So now I'm going back and thinking about the score and the music, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's the connection there?
So my orchestra, the Rise Orchestra, as well as the Adrian Dunn Singers, are featured on that score. So essentially, we performed that score for Heart for Jesus, and then I composed a new score that actually is still on Hulu and Disney Plus that features the Adrian Dunn Singers and the Rise Orchestra, and it's my score for a documentary film on the last surviving Black boarding school in America called The Piney Story. It's on Hulu right now, called Sacred Soil as well. So we've kind of been doing more work in film and in those spaces as well. But yeah, both beautiful projects and just beautiful teams. And of course, the beautiful singing and the players of the Rise Orchestra and the Adrian Dunn Singers.
So, okay, I'm just telling you right now, I have become an instant fan without having heard. Amen. I was just saying, without having heard a note, I have become an instant fan because, first of all, your bio is crazy. The amount of work that has been done.
Thank you.
You know, when people talk about there are no overnight successes, and you realize, what you say, like, I'm 20 years in, the the bio is ridiculous. I'm looking at, like you've been everywhere, you've interacted and performed with everybody. I this has just got to be so overwhelming on some days. Do you ever just like, but I heard you say, when you show up excellent, like I understand what I'm capable of. I know I belong in this space, but do you ever just have moments when you like, dude, is this me? This you?
Yeah, I mean, there's days I do wake up like today, and I'm grateful for just the fact that I've been able to have a career as a black male in this space, and even with all the difficult things, it's like look at what God has done. That's what I say all the time. Look at what God has done and how beautiful it is to be able to make music with people that look like me and that love me. And we love each other. And I'm telling you, when you come on Saturday, we hope whoever is listening right now, if you have never heard black folks sing like this, make sure you find yourself at the Bradley Symphony Center on Saturday night, because I promise you'll be blown away. I promise you.
And so I'm going to tell you, so I got some folks that's listening and they're texting me and they reminded me that we have a brother, he passed away a couple of years ago, but Dr. Wallace Cheatham, who composer, classically trained, incredible brother who introduced so many people in the Milwaukee market to classical music. And then we actually have like the New Jubilee singers that all classically trained young people that have come through their program. And then someone else that's listening, they said, and Scott Joplin, who wrote, is that Tremotion? Tremonisha. Okay. Yeah. So you got some fans out here paying attention, bruh.
Thank you. I'm so glad. And like I said, I grew up in the Midwest, and being in Chicago for 25 years, being so close to Milwaukee. One of my first interns that I hired was from Milwaukee. I affectionately call him my son, Malik Johnson, who's also a Grammy-nominated producer. And is in my orchestra, and he'll be performing on Saturday too. Just going to the hometown connection of Milwaukee. He came up in Milwaukee and currently lives there, and so he'll be featured. We also have another singer too from Milwaukee who's currently in the Florentine Milwaukee Opera program there, and then another native in the singers who is a student out here in Los Angeles at USC, but sings with us, and he will also be with us on Saturday. Daniel Boyd. So I love that you have people in your audience who know folks in the community, who've done classical music, black folks who are in that space. And I think that's what really this opportunity is for, is to bring all folk together and say that, black folks, oftentimes we're known for certain musical expressions. But the reality is that we are the authors of American music. And I say this all the time. In any genre, we do it well. And so I'm really excited about this Saturday. And thank you for all of your listeners who pointed out and just bring it to my awareness, those black giants within your community as well.
So I just want to remind people, so this is happening on Saturday, December 7th at 7:30 p.m. Conductor Adrian Dunn, the Adrian Dunn Singers and Rise Orchestra. So for folks that are tickets still available, Adrian, because like I didn't have tickets for this, so now like I'm getting ready to.
Available. Okay. Please, you can call the MSO box office, and I don't take for granted that as black folk, a lot of us may have never been to this place, but I believe the address is 212 Milwaukee Avenue or Wisconsin. Excuse me. Let me not say the wrong thing.
No, we got, I'll pull it up as well, bro. But yeah, no, we actually do have, and I know because I go to performances at MSO, and there are a litany of folks that I see. Many of us who respect the genre, love the genre, just happy to support. I had a couple people come and they said, I'm just coming because I heard it was black folks. Like, but that'll do. I'll take that, because you get there and you fall in love with it and realize like, oh, I thought I was doing him a favor. He did me one, because I got exposed to something that I didn't know about or hadn't experienced before. So, because I heard you say your dad passed, right?
Yeah, in June.
Right.
In June, yeah.
So what about mom? Is she watching
My mom
this whole
passed
thing?
like 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness, really?
And so, yeah, this is my first performance since Carnegie Hall without both of my parents. And so I bring those things up because you talk about the journey, and we talk a lot of times in the culture about how challenging things are. And I think sometimes we think of challenge in terms of people helping you or opening doors and things like that. But many times those challenges as you get older are the things that you have to deal with within yourself and reconciling things. And so, it's all a part of the journey. And, I'm really excited because at the same time, I dedicated a sold out performance at Carnegie Hall to my dad. And how awesome was that? Absolutely no, it wasn't what you wanted, but oftentimes not a lot of things in life we get the way we want.
That's right.
And it requires you to dig deep, and to really call on your purpose and your divine calling, and that strength that we all have within us that sometimes we don't know we have. And so that's what Wonderful is about.
So someone just hit me up. First of all, thank you for sharing that piece. And one of my other musicians, Dr. Williams, who was listening, educator, she mentioned Dr. Cheatham. She said he did research, and his research was titled Blacks in Opera. I
love that.
So like I said, we got folks that they come, they make their concerts free to the community so that we can come and just be exposed. It's people doing the work. Bro, when I tell you, don't know you, but I'm cheesing like I do. Proud of you because this is nothing short of incredible and amazing. Look, that's my phone kicking in because there's so many messages coming through. When I tell you that, you don't know what to expect sometimes when you do these interviews and, you start reading people's bio and you're like, okay, I see you. But when I say I see you, fam. I see you, bro. You done put that work in, and I mean, it is crazy. I'm gonna have to borrow half of your bio. Like, look, who can I show this to so I can inspire the next Adrian Dunn? This is crazy, man.
I hope that the next Adrian Dunn is at Milwaukee Symphony, and at the Milwaukee Youth Chorale, and that shows up on December, because like I said, I'm standing on the shoulders of so many Black people, right. Roland Carter, Moses Hogan. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. You talk about Leontine Price, Jesse Norman.
Yes.
You talk about folks, who many young people have never heard of before, which is what's unique about the show that we won the Emmy for was my last album, Project Emancipation, which is the Black 20th and 21st century thought leaders that shaped my life as a Black queer man in America. And so I tell people all the time, hang in there. It gets better. You know what I mean? You just got to hang in there and keep going. And so I'm just so excited about this because you never know who's in the audience. You never know who's inspired by this. And with it being a PBS special, my hope and my prayer is that people can watch it over and over and over again in that market, hopefully nationally as well, to see the power of what the work that we do. And what we're doing is truly unique and different. And I'm being truly honest in that I've been in the industry a long time. And the way that we fuse gospel and hip hop and all of these different things is truly unique and it's truly special with an all Black cast of all professional folks. It's going to be dynamic.
Okay, so somebody mentioned something. I'm just telling you the messages are coming through. And they said, Michelle, Emancipation was a part of a trilogy?
Yes, it was a part of a trilogy. Yeah, it was a part of a trilogy. Actually, I forgot about that. Thank you, whoever said that. But yeah, it's a part of a trilogy of Black life in America. And the first installment was called Redemption, which are spirituals and gospel songs that are dedicated to Black men and women murdered by police. That was the first installment. The second installment, Emancipation, again, of the 21st century, 20th and 21st century Black thought leaders who shaped my life. And that was recorded live at the Harris Theater in Chicago at Millennium Park 2 years ago. And then my next album, which is coming up February the 15th, will be recorded live in Los Angeles on February the 15th here at the Colburn School at Zipper Concert Hall. And its title is The Resurrection.
Because, I mean, it felt like it was some pressure going on with this text message. Like, no, Michelle, that's a part of a trilogy. And he ain't speaking to it. I need that said. So I'm not saying it was coming for you.
But whoever's out there, thank you.
But it felt like it was some pressure there. Like, when do I get to see the third installment? So this is nothing short of crazy, man. Oh, my goodness. Adrian, you are a godsend and a blessing. Thank you so much for including us on the journey. And I'm hoping that we have folks that are listening that will, if they hadn't gotten tickets, didn't know about it, hadn't planned to attend, that they will definitely be in the building now having had an opportunity to hear from you. What'd you say?
Do you have a ticket Saturday?
I don't. I'm just saying I'm getting ready to get tickets though, because I'm coming. This is amazing.
Make sure you got it. Absolutely. Because it's going to be off the chain. So, for sure.
Well, I can't wait. Thank you so much, fam. I'm over the top proud, man. And this is crazy.
Thank you.
For all, I can just think about all them sisters sitting in church that used to, you going places, you going to do things. You need to open your mouth and use the gift that the Lord gave you. And then Jermaine, the brother who knew you, he is a musician himself, singer, songwriter. I just went to see him play in church. How was it? Like a month ago now? Yeah. But so you got a fellow musician in the building, bruh, who has some real credits to his name as well. So I love being around greatness. I like what you said though. Show up with excellence. Show up with excellence.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, then we will look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate this. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, family. That was none other than Mr. Adrian Dunn of the Adrian Dunn Singers. If you had not planned to check this out, I encourage you, open up, your horizons, do something different, support folks when they show up in these ways, buy a ticket. Too many times we go to these productions and not enough of us are in the room, and you realize that other communities are basically supporting the arts, and there's so much more we could do. So let's go check this brother out this Saturday at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Let me take a quick break and I'll be right back.
And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
I'm Stephen Hopkins, Program Manager for Critical Response Team. I'm at WNOV right now.
So, Stephen, what's something simple that you're thankful for today?
Being alive and free.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Is there something you're looking forward to this holiday season?
Seeing my loved ones and, spending some time with them.
Perfect.
Amen.
Hello, my name is Johnny L. Jones, one of the founders of Experience MKE, who proudly presents to all the All Black Experience, which is happening 11/29/24. We are also familiar with the All White Experience in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So, Johnny, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
I show my appreciation and gratitude toward the loved ones throughout the holiday, well as the year. Pick up the phone, check on people, because you really never know what anyone is going through, and just you reaching out saying hello, how you doing, need anything. You just don't understand sometimes how much that impact other people sometimes.
Hello, I'm Hope Manuel of Milwaukee Hope Initiative.
So Hope, I got a question for you.
Make some noise! It's the second half, y'all. It's time to turn up. It's time to turn up. Freedom. Freedom over me. Can y'all help me sing? Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Freedom so I can breathe. Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Freedom so I can breathe. Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Freedom so I can breathe. Black is my brilliance. Black is my business. Black is my skinness. Black is my business. Black is my skinness. Black is the back of the bus, and I promise you, black is not finished. Black is my brilliance. Black is the ending. We gon' have freedom forever. I put that on black as my witness. Black is essential. So free all my kinfolk. Freedom like this close. We need it back tenfold. Black is essential. So free all my kinfolk. Freedom like this close. Freedom like this close. Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Freedom so I can breathe. Freedom over me. Freedom over me. Sing it. Freedom over me. Freedom. Freedom so I can breathe. Freedom over me. Freedom over me.
All right, folks, welcome back. So that was none other than the Adrian Dunn Singers. This is the brother and his group that will be performing on Saturday, MSO, Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. The performance is at 7:30. So hopefully folks will have an opportunity to get through and check that out this Saturday. It's so crazy because I'm actually going to be going to Minnesota because we got the call today that Rep Myers can come home. So I'm going to go get her early in the morning and then turn around and come back so I can be back in time for the show. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good. Okay, so I work for an organization that makes gift baskets for women who have lost their children. Is it okay if we drop one off for Miss King?
Yes. We will make sure that we figure out how to get it to her. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for what you all are doing.
No problem. Have a good night.
All right, you too. That's
Bye-bye.
crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it just took
that there is even a need for that. That's
and it
crazy.
shouldn't be. It It's just
And the idea, though, that people have thought to do something so thoughtful. Thank you, and we'll work and figure out how to make sure that the family gets it. Let me do this. Let me remind people that tonight there is a panel discussion for folks that are interested in the future of Milwaukee Public Schools and figuring out what we do to make sure that we are able to move our students forward. There is a panel discussion. I am actually moderating it. Excuse me, because that really got me on the basket. I wasn't expecting that. But this panel discussion centers around the whole, well, it starts out in terms of 53206, but the idea moving our students forward, prescriptions for student success in the 21st century, and reinvesting in parental involvement. There are a number of featured speakers. Alan Borsick, who for years was a reporter with and I think an editor as well with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. He wrote on education. You knew that weekly you were going to get a different insight issue topic around education in both Milwaukee and the state. And Alan Borsick was the go-to guy to be able to figure out what was happening in the district. Teresa Jemison, who was with St. Matthew's CME Church. The church has actually adopted a school over the years, and talking about what that connection and engagement has meant to these students and to the congregants in terms of helping with education. Henry Leonard, who is a Milwaukee School Board director, who will be talking from the district perspective about what we see going on and how we move our students forward. Clarence Nicholas, who is the president of the Milwaukee unit of the NAACP, Milwaukee branch of the NAACP, and Falamak Nourizad, who is an architect. There have been architects brought to the table in many educational situations to figure out the best way to lay out a space that makes it the most conducive to learning. With everything that's on the table, whether we talk about school closures, as we've said, schools that have been identified as possibly closing up, mostly on the north side of Milwaukee, 6 of those schools in the 53206 zip code, 13 of those schools, I think of the 13, 10 are north side schools. North Division is one of those schools that they're looking at. I was blown away when I realized that the 53206 zip code only has one high school in the district. Wow. And so the idea that you could be talking about closing up a high school that's the only high school that services those students is crazy to me. The flip side of that conversation was that there are also schools that are going to see increased investment and expansion. All of those schools, for the most part, there are 13 of them, they're on the south side of Milwaukee, in predominantly white and Hispanic Latino neighborhoods. We have got to be at the table on these conversations. We already come in late as they're having the discussion about the school superintendent and who is going to be the full-time, hire for that, because we have an interim right now who is going to take us through the end of this school year into 2025 with the goal of having somebody in place for the upcoming 25-26 school year. But I asked the question yesterday when I talked about this, the search firm, the folks, the consultants that's at the table, what do these consultants look like? Do they have a diverse team? Do I have, and this sounds a little bit rough, but do I have predominantly white consultants making recommendations about a predominantly Black district or predominantly minority district? What do you want to see as parents, community members, concerned neighbors, residents, taxpayers about what happens with our school district? So if you got some time this evening, the conversation is happening from 6 p.m. until 7:30. It is happening at the Community Within the Corridor, and that is 2709 North 32nd Street. So right off of 32nd and Burleigh. There is parking on a lot. Security, everything is cool over in the area. It's a beautiful space, but it is the Community Within the Corridor, 2709 North 32nd Street. and it is happening from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It is a panel discussion, but there is plenty of room and opportunity and time being allotted for Q&A, for the community to offer input, advice, suggestions, critiques, concerns. But we got to start these conversations somewhere. And so this group that has been working for a number of years on this issue, I think it's the Call to Action Committee. Make sure I got the name right. Call to Action Committee. The work is important. And we got folks that have decided, look, we're not going to wait for somebody to save us. We got to figure out how to save ourselves. In terms of education, that's one of the key places that we start. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Bryant. Assalamu alaikum to you all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Listening to you speaking about what they were planning or probably had in the works for some time with regard to the closing of 13 schools in the 53206 zip code, and there's only one high school in that zip code you just mentioned, North Division. And I thought that North Division held some type of historic significance to a Black community. But ultimately, my contention is this, that since I've been here and what I've seen, which has been deliberate on our part, is that we have deliberately worked to be inclusive to everyone, to our detriment, and that a lot of us, or some of us, I should say, however they've reached whatever level of success, have been so readily available or able to explain away what has been happening to Black people all over the country. And if we're going to stay local, especially here in Milwaukee, a lot of people come here and people call these people whatever to make it seem as if we as Black people are so compassionate to humanity, but humanity has not been compassionate or considerate to the sojourn of Black people here in America. And the more that we keep looking to help everyone, as the scripture says, that charity begins at home and then it spreads abroad. That means that, as they say on the airplane, I have to take the oxygen in so that I'll be strong enough in the event that if something happens, that if I can render some assistance to you, I will. And if I'm able, we lack focus with regard to sight. And Black people are so quick to include everyone, and no one is very quick to include Black people. Black people are scared to death to speak definitively about what our concerns is and what we require as a people. So I'm not this person that's going to be looking or scanning the horizon for our allies, because I've lived long enough to see that they are very few and far in between. And the more that we spread ourselves out, the thinner we become. Just like if you spread mayonnaise or whatever it is, somebody might spread on anything. The broader you spread it, the less effective and less impactful the spread, and the less tasteful it becomes. You may have spread it so thin that you don't even know that it is even there. And that's where we are as a people. Lastly, I'll say this. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that there was 3 things that the Caucasian would do to us. First, make us slaves. Second, spoil us. And then third, throw us away. And they have utilized the lack of melanin with regard to those other people who have come into our environment and have waxed rich at our expense. And here's the thing: if you're going to consider yourself a colored person, or if you're going to use that terminology to include people, I'll say this about being a colored person. That is the mindset of some black people. You think like a colored person, therefore you do as a colored person because you don't understand what it is to be black. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Christopher. I think I had a kind of similar phone call this morning, when the brother was we were talking about Palestine and trying to just understand the correlation. Why is that such a prominent issue? Why care? Or why be engaged? I think I've heard that theme throughout. In fact, I was just reading a piece in Essence magazine, and the title was Black Women Are Done. And it talked about the central theme, that these women, it was a virtual meeting, 400 sisters got together. This is coming off the loss of Kamala Harris's bid for the presidency. And they talked about that. A number of the sisters that were on the call, they said the central theme of the night was how much Black women take care of everyone and everything but themselves and wind up burnt out. And so folks were saying that they are done, but the done is an acronym. D, double down on rest and dedicate yourselves to healthy boundaries. Delivering from a deficit is over. O, own your stuff and let everyone else own theirs. Don't take on so much that you're overwhelmed. N, nurture yourselves first and then nurture the community. And I'll talk about some of the other stuff on another day. E, extend the same grace you extend to everyone else to yourself. It's okay to be tired and to ask for help. No longer prioritizing everyone else over yourself. Understanding that because we think we're not replaceable, we are. And the minute something happens, we'll be gone. There's been, and I use that just as an example because there has been I won't say a reckoning, but a continued awakening of Black people asking the question, what about us? How do we fit in? What can we do for self? We realize that there has been a different level of exposure now that we are seeing, where overt racism in your face, the use of the N-word, derogatory, overt actions towards Black people, when people talk about the rise in hate crimes, you see the rise in aggression and the rise in microaggressions. And yes, Black folks as people have been generous. They are folks, we are folks that think about other people. We understand what it's like to be mistreated. And I think many of us just don't want to see anybody else mistreated because we know, because we've been there. And when we talk about, okay, so let's just take care of us, one of the things I think where I get hung up is that there are things that we can definitely do alone. We can go it alone as a race of people to make changes in our community. At some point, though, because of the way the system is set up, the way this country is set up, the way life currently is, there will be an intermingling, there will be an intersection, there will be a need to be able to function and operate and work alongside other folks. Okay. As somebody who is 100% interested in the advancement of Black folks and want to do whatever is possible and necessary to make sure that we advance, I still got to say, I'm also someone that's interested in the human race. I just have a hard time seeing anybody be mistreated. And while I'm standing up for myself, I just don't feel like that I don't also have the capacity to stand up for other people. That's just my DNA. That's just the way I'm built. You're not getting ready to mistreat nobody in front of me. And even though, I risk my own bodily harm, I risk my own self-preservation, I risk, all kinds of situations when you decide to intervene on other folks' behalf, when you raise your voice for other people. While I would love to say, I would hope, therefore, that someday somebody shows up for me, we may not always get that. But the thing I am conscientious of is that there have been people that have shown up to help us. We have not fully and 100% been abandoned by every single group or person on this earth. There have been, and I'll talk about it, whether it's the Underground Railroad, whether it is, passages on the transatlantic slave trade, just the civil rights movement, the Viola Luisos, the folks who watched water hoses and said, no, you can't do that on my watch. And yeah, I'm white and I'm privileged and I'm at the house, but I'm going to help. Not enough people did that, but there were many that did. So I know that there are people that also show up for us. Nowhere sometimes close to the way we show up. As I said, Black women marched in the women's suffrage movement knowing that the right to vote was not going to be extended to them. But we understood that if we get any woman or any women the right to vote, ours is a matter of time. So it was strategic and necessary for us to come and be a part of that movement. And we came. Members of my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, Black women that were not connected to an organization, but just they felt strongly about this issue, they came, knowing we wouldn't benefit. We didn't get the unfettered right to vote in every election, in any election, until 1965. We understood that. So while I know it's frustrating for a lot of people, some people won't understand it. I understand I got to put my own mask on before I can help somebody else because I got to be alive. I got to be breathing. I get that part. But I also understand that I am a person that will also step in harm's way to do what I think is right. I've always been like that. I always try to be what I think other folks should be. It's hard for me to say, do this, do this, do this, and I don't do it. Even when it's difficult, even when it's not returned. It's hard to love people that don't love you back. Jermaine perked right up on that.
Oh, that's true.
What'd you say? That's true.
Oh, that's true.
It is. It is. But for folks that are people of faith, and I'm not the biggest, Bible thumping, every Sunday attending. I'm not that chick. But I do believe in the basic principles of Christianity. Yeah. And I believe that, yeah, you do have to have a certain generosity of spirit that's not always extended to you. Yeah. Am I fully that turn that other cheek chick? No, I'll smack you back.
Yeah, I done ran out of cheeks.
So it just depends on which day you catch me, truth be told.
No more cheeks, man.
But overall, y'all, the day we give up on being a part of it and helping and being the example of what decency looks like, to me, that's the day we lose. Because if we stay in this country, the way it's currently designed, it's not designed for us to function in that way. And if people vote, though, you change it. If people participate, you change it. But I just can't become what I don't like. I don't like people that see me suffering and they walk, they step over me or they walk the other way. I don't like people that mistreat me for no other reason than my skin color is different. I don't like people that think that because I'm a certain color, I'm not smart and I'm not capable and I don't deserve everything that life has to offer. I don't like that. So I try not to be that to other people. Make no mistake though. You're going to know, as I say, every room I go in, how does this impact Black people? What's in it for Black people? How do we, have a voice? How do we get access to resources? How do we get money? How do we get what we're supposed to get? I'm always going to push that agenda. But I just can't watch people mess over people and don't say nothing.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And I think that might be the curse of most Black people. Most Black people, because think about it, y'all. The one big fear that white people have had is that one day we was going to pay them back for slavery. If the truth is ever told, that's why they were scared when Barack Obama became president, that eventually the day of reckoning, because see, we've never had a day of reckoning. White folks ain't never had to atone for slavery in this country. They've been able to get away with enslaving and raping and stealing people and killing people at basically no real cost. We've had some revolts here and there, but in terms of a real cost that a war would generate, they've been able to escape it. And so a lot of the fear is that one day these people going to pay us back for the BS we did to them. That's why we got to revise the story. That's why we got to make people believe, oh, they deserved it. They were less than. And we got to find the complicit Negroes to go along and say, oh, slavery wasn't that bad, as they found a Black man to say. And Byron, Donald. I'm just saying. If we let it eat us up to the point that we become hateful and mean, and some people are like, Michelle, it ain't hateful and mean. I'm just looking out for us. At some point, we have to step off the reservation. You got to participate. We don't have enough industry. You're going to have to work at places. You're going to have to engage with people. You're going to have to buy. Even if you say, we got our own stores, we got our own, everything. You don't create those things, though. So you still got to go buy them from somewhere to stock your stores. You can't grow everything.
Yeah.
So at some point, we don't get to not participate in the world. We don't get to isolate ourselves away. I'm not saying that's what Christopher said. I'm just saying in general. We don't get to isolate ourselves away. You got to figure out how to do both. How do we take care of ourselves, uplift, support, create the strongest people we can, and also play this game and change the rules of the game? If we voted and showed up, you literally get to change who's sitting in these seats, man. You do. You get to run the board. If we gave money to candidates instead of letting them be financed by white folks only, you the one that's in that Black politician's ear saying we need to do X, Y, and Z. They accountable to you, but y'all ain't giving nobody no money. Y'all ain't knocking on no doors. Y'all ain't helping nobody get elected. I don't owe you nothing. So, the other thing I'll say as I end, one of the ways we change this is we are the most educated and lethally brilliant people on the planet, which we have every capability of being. Just damn brilliant. When you look at the stuff that we do and we create, the stuff that we see that other people don't see, the vision that we have, we are freaking brilliant. But we got to be able to have it show up academically.
Yeah.
So if we can get a handle on education and how we educating our babies and what's happening to them academically, you begin to change the world. That's why folks did not want us to learn how to read when we were first brought to this country. Because if you know how to read, then you got comprehension, which means you begin to understand how the game is played. And when you understand how the game is played, you begin to figure out how to win. I don't want you winning, so I keep you dumb. And some of us have been happy to stay dumb.
Yeah.
If you got time, you care about education. I heard they're going to have like a little something to snack on. I know folks getting off work. Stop by and see what they're talking about tonight. All right, family, that's the show for today. Carvey Pitt, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Ride Out.
Yeah.
That's the story.
No, that's another one.
It's another one?
Mom relieved after arrest made in child's death. Wow. What is
Was
going
that the child that walked out in the street?
No, I think that's from the car accident.
January 2023.
Yeah, car crash.
Yeah, it's way too much going on.
Man, it's just...
It's way too much going on.
Lord have mercy.
All right, y'all.
35th and Hope.
I'm out of here. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.